Too many times, people who have these big visions, some of the best songs in the world have never been heard because some lazy bud is laying in his bed.
A whole lot of money I don't need.
But at the same time, there are people who are working so hard and they have no vision.
Everything that a girl could.
And so it's about finding the balance of having a vision and being willing to throw yourself, put yourself out there and stand in your vision today and never waver.
I don't have to stay out all night.
It doesn't matter the road or the process, but stand in your vision today and don't move.
And he knows just how to treat me right. See my baby, he's alright. See my baby, we're so tight. Don't you know he is some kind of wonderful? Yes, he is. He's some kind of wonderful.
I came into this classroom one day and I was just in a I was going to use another word, ornery mood. It was Valentine's Day and I was pissy. And the teacher said, "What happened to Ron?" And, and the rest of the class says, "Tanya kissed him." So what happened is they chased me down and I went into the little boys' bathroom and the girls came in there and drugged me out and pinned me to the ground out there. And this girl kissed me on the forehead.
We would go into the bathroom at a gas station and lock the door, and there was a little drain on the floor, and the kids would stand over the drain individually, and I would put water on their head, shampoo them, wash them down, and get them all cleaned up for school. They would put on their clean clothes and fix their hair, and we'd go to school. Then I would go out looking for work.
I mean, literally, this reminds me of just walking to school, this sidewalk right here. Yeah, this is it, you guys. We used to play football right here, me and my brother. I look back and I remember getting free lunches at school, and I always felt really embarrassed about that, and that people looked down upon me, and it was just a weird time in life. But when I look back, I'm so grateful to learn the value of character and who we're becoming, not so much what we have, and to learn the value of a dollar, learn how to work for money.
He came into me and I was just barely making ends meet. We ate wonderfully, but still we didn't have extra. And he said, "Mom, I need a guitar for Christmas." And this is quite out of the realm of anything my kids would do. Still, they wouldn't ask me for anything. He says, "I need a guitar for Christmas, and it's important because I want to go make money so we can have money." I said, "Now what do you want to do? Why do you want to make the money?" He says, "Mom, when I get big, I'm going to be a millionaire. I am going to make money, and I am going to buy you a house, and I'm going to get you a maid, and I'm going to give you $5,000 a month to spend." And I mean it, Mom. I know you don't believe me, but I do.
Over the weekend, I'm reading, Time Magazine, USA Today, even some international magazines, and what's interesting is there's economic scare everywhere we look today. And the question is, are we using that economic scare as evidence to fail or suffer or have our loved ones suffer? I don't know about you, but I refuse to give my power to that, because we work in an industry that's recession-proof. We can create our own economy when everyone does a little.
It was back in 1994, it started its worst devaluation, the worst economical crisis in the history of Mexico. And believe me, we have had a lot of economical crisis. But anyway, the board of directors of that company decided that the smart thing to do was to shut down Mexico. They said that Mr. Ron Williams was coming to the country, and he chose to say that he was shutting down the country, but he actually was working with the people. He said, "Well, let's see what we have." He started to meet with the employees, the distributors, and I don't know, maybe he connected with them so hard that he took a stand back then. Instead of shutting down the operation, well, he was more concerned about don't letting down these people more than keeping his job. He was more concerned about doing the right thing instead of doing the easy thing. And he chose to do it. He did a lot of work. We worked 24 hours a day back then. And actually Mexico, right now, it's a very important market for that company.
I knew it was time for me to start my own company. So it was finally the time to go and do it, you know, and have an expression of who I am in the company. And so I co-founded a company called Whole Living, which in turn was Brain Garden. And Brain Garden was a very creative company, really creatively done. Whole foods, none of the miracle pill, miracle that, just eat good, you know, very timeless. And so we started, things were going great, we were growing. We were getting international markets, and we went public. Got to a certain point, I just noticed that it became a revolving door of greed, that everyone's agenda started changing and we weren't in alignment. And I got to really understand how important it is to stay in alignment, because being out of alignment is chaos. And so, you know, to make a long story short, it got to a point where the writing was on the wall, and it was time for me to, after 4 or 5 years, to exit my dream. I just remember one day sitting in house, middle of the day, still in my pajamas, doing nothing. I was watching Oprah Winfrey and crying, you know? And I remember looking in the mirror and saying, I need to do something with my life.
Knocked up 9 months ago, and what she finna have, she don't know. She want neo soul, cause hip hop is old. She don't want.
I was there in the very first meeting of Forever Green. There were 7 people.
When we first started Forever Green, there's no products. So we were, aligned with the vision that's bigger than the products. We believe the company vision is bigger than that.
So we had this room, and there's people standing in the halls, there's people standing in the back of the room, standing on the sides of the room. And Ron walks in, and he takes the catalog and he says, "Who loves our catalog?" Everybody's cheering, everybody loves the catalog. We've got great products. Everybody loves our products. And he drops it on the floor and he says, "That's your safety net. That's always going to be there. You're always going to have all those products that you love, but what you're about to see is going to create a rocket out of Forever Green."
I received a phone call from one of the leaders in Forever Green. She had heard about my dad's story through some local and actually some international articles that were written about him and plankton and the extraordinary shift in your health. And finally there was a meeting arranged with us here at the Sea Farm. Ron was going to be on the island. I did a little investigation with the company, and the meeting was set. I made sure my dad came out and was wearing a Sunday best, and I was too, and God bless Ron Williams, walks in the office looking like he just crawled out of a campsite, which I believe he had.
So this whole thing started when I went to an art gallery, and I said to the artist, I said, "Hey, would you paint me 4 paintings of the same landscape, but make it all 4 seasons?" It was so beautiful. It's how the evergreen tree embraces every second of every season of its life.
Ron has an amazing ability to see in each one of us the strengths that we are. He's pulled those out of me. And he does that for each person that we come in contact with as a company. So I'm so excited to be on this voyage with Forever Green and with Ron to go out and pull these strengths and make a difference in the world 1 person at a time.
It is actually a whole philosophy, a whole way of being.
When I first met Ron, I think he's crazy.
I think Ron brings his vision of enabling and empowerment.
It is amazing when you take a stand for your community, for somebody else. I cannot even start to explain how much your world changes.
Forever Green's been involved in a variety of community stands.
We're trying to help people to make a difference in their life, which makes a difference in our life.
I was getting ready to leave the whole industry because I didn't see the good of what it could do. And then seeing Ron come in with this vision of what he wanted to do and had a higher purpose and kind of giving it back to the people to where if they want to change their lives, they could. And I believed in that.
I believe that Forever Green's role in this industry in the future is going to be, and I'm going to use this word in a very careful way because I love this industry, but I think it's going to dignify the industry.
People will say, well, how does it feel to have all this success now from where you came from and blah, blah, blah. I tell them it feels the same when I lived in the government projects. I never knew we were poor. Money is a part of our health. It's a good thing. Money's neutral. It makes good people better. Forever Green is timeless principles of health, timeless principles of humanity. Forever Green is about truth.